What if I told you the 2026-27 Ford Mustang Titan X isn't just another SUV, but a complete redefinition of what a Mustang can be? This is the kind of reveal that makes traditional performance SUVs feel outdated overnight. And once you see what Ford has done here, you'll understand why people are calling this the most unexpected evolution in Mustang history. You're watching Premium Automotive Reviews, where we don't just talk about cars, we break them down in a way that actually makes you feel them. And this Titan X is hiding details that most people will completely miss at first glance, especially when it comes to how it blends raw muscle DNA with next-generation intelligence. The first thing that hits you is the presence. This doesn't look like a typical SUV trying to be sporty. It looks like a Mustang that refused to stay in one category. The front end carries that aggressive, low-slung attitude, with a wide grille that feels planted and confident, almost like it's staring straight through the road ahead. The LED lighting signature is sharp and precise, not overly futuristic, but just enough to signal that this belongs to a new era. As the camera moves across the body, you start noticing how the proportions are carefully balanced. It has the muscular shoulders you expect from a Mustang, but stretched into a more practical, elevated stance. The sculpted hood lines, those subtle vents, and the way the light reflects off the curves, it all feels intentional. Not flashy, but powerful. And then you get to the rear. That's where it quietly reminds you of its heritage. The tri-bar lighting signature has been reinterpreted in a way that feels modern but still unmistakably Mustang. The stance is wide, grounded, and slightly aggressive, with quad exhaust tips that hint at something serious hiding underneath. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about looks. The aerodynamics are actually working behind the scenes. The airflow channels, the diffuser, design, even the subtle roofline slope, all of it contributes to stability at speed. It's the kind of engineering you don't notice immediately, but you feel it when the car is moving. Step inside, and the entire mood shifts. This is where the Titan X separates itself from traditional muscle thinking. Instead of just focusing on aggression, the interior brings in a sense of control and intelligence. The dashboard layout feels clean but purposeful, with a digital display that stretches seamlessly across your field of view. There's ambient lighting that doesn't just glow, it adapts. It changes tone based on driving modes, creating an environment that feels alive. And when you grip the steering wheel, you immediately notice the materials. Soft touch surfaces, precise stitching, and subtle carbon accents that remind you this is still a performance-focused machine. But what really stands out is how the technology integrates into the experience. This isn't a screen-heavy distraction. It's more like the car understands what you need before you ask. The infotainment system responds quickly, connects seamlessly, and even learns your driving habits over time. And yes, there's an AI-driven system working in the background. It adjusts climate, suggests routes, optimizes performance settings, and even adapts suspension behavior based on your driving style. It's not just smart, it's evolving. Now let's talk about what most people are waiting for: performance. Because this is where the Titan X proves it's not just wearing a Mustang badge, it's earning it. Under the hood, you're looking at a powerful petrol engine setup that delivers that deep, unmistakable sound enthusiasts crave. But it's not just about noise, it's about how the power is delivered. Smooth when you want comfort, aggressive when you push it. The drivetrain feels responsive, almost predictive. And with an advanced suspension system, the ride adapts instantly. You can cruise comfortably through the city. And then, with a slight change in mode, the entire character tightens up. Cornering feels controlled, not heavy like traditional SUVs. That's because of the balance Ford has engineered into this platform. It doesn't fight against its size, it uses it. And here's something people don't expect. Efficiency has also been improved without compromising performance. That's where modern engineering really shows its strength. Safety, of course, is another layer where the Titan X quietly excels. It's packed with advanced driver assistance systems that don't feel intrusive. Instead of constantly reminding you that they're there, they work in the background, stepping in only when needed. From adaptive cruise control to intelligent lane management and predictive collision avoidance, everything feels smooth and natural. It's like having a co-pilot that knows when to stay silent and when to act. But beyond all the performance and technology, there's a practical side to this vehicle that makes it even more interesting. This is still an SUV, which means space, comfort, and usability matter. And the Titan X delivers. The cabin feels spacious without losing that driver-focused feel. The rear seats offer real comfort, not just extra room. And the cargo area is designed for real-life use, whether it's daily errands or long-distance travel. And that's where this car starts to redefine its purpose, because it's not just for performance enthusiasts anymore. It's for someone who wants that emotional connection, but also needs practicality. Someone who doesn't want to choose between excitement and usability. When you compare it emotionally to other vehicles in this segment, the difference becomes clear. Most SUVs focus on comfort or technology. Some focus on performance, but very few manage to bring all three together in a way that feels cohesive. It feels like a new category, and maybe that's the real story here. This isn't just Ford experimenting. This is Ford expanding what the Mustang identity can be. It's a bold move, but one that actually makes sense when you experience it. It's for the driver who grew up loving muscle cars but now needs something more versatile. It's for someone who appreciates design, values performance, but also wants modern intelligence built into their vehicle. It's for people who don't want to follow trends. They want to drive something that feels ahead of them. And as you watch this Titan X from different angles, hear the engine, see the lighting, and experience the interior, you start to realize something. This doesn't feel like a future concept. It feels ready. Ready to challenge expectations, ready to change perceptions, and maybe even ready to redefine what we think a Mustang should be. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another car reveal. This is a shift, and I'd love to know, do you think the Mustang should evolve like this, or should it stay true to its original form? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because this conversation is just getting started. What if the 2026-27 Ford Mustang pickup truck isn't just a truck, but the moment performance and practicality finally collide in a way no one saw coming? Because what you're looking at right now isn't a typical workhorse, it's something that feels like it was built to rewrite expectations. You're watching premium automotive reviews, where we go beyond the surface and uncover what truly makes a vehicle stand out. And trust me, this Mustang pickup is hiding details that most people won't even notice at first, especially when you realize what it's actually capable of becoming on the road. At first glance, it challenges everything you thought a pickup should look like. The front end carries a bold Mustang identity, with that aggressive grille sitting low and wide, giving it a stance that feels more like a performance coupe than a utility vehicle. The LED headlights are sharp, almost surgical, with a lighting signature that immediately grabs attention without trying too hard. As the camera glides along the body, you start to see how carefully this design has been crafted. The lines are clean, but there's tension in them, a kind of controlled aggression. The hood has those subtle sculpted elements that hint at power underneath, while the side profile balances strength and flow in a way that feels completely new for a truck. And then you notice the stance. It sits lower than traditional pickups, wider than expected, and more planted than anything else in its class. The wheels are large, performance-oriented, and perfectly fill the arches, giving it a look that feels ready to move even when it's standing still. But the real surprise comes when you reach the rear. That familiar Mustang DNA shows up again in the lighting, with a modern interpretation of the iconic tri-bar design. It's subtle but powerful. The quad exhaust setup underneath reminds you that this isn't just about carrying loads, it's about delivering an experience deeper. This isn't just designed for the sake of appearance. The aerodynamics have been carefully engineered to reduce drag and improve stability. Every edge, every contour, every vent, it all works together to create a truck that doesn't just look fast, it feels composed at speed. Step inside and everything changes. The interior doesn't feel like a traditional pickup cabin. It feels like a performance cockpit that just happens to have space. The dashboard door sharp is clean, driver-focused, with a wide digital display that flows naturally into the center screen. It's modern, but not overwhelming. The materials tell a story of their own. Soft touch surfaces, premium stitching, subtle carbon accents, everything feels intentional. Even the ambient lighting adds to the mood, shifting depending on how you're driving. Calm when you're cruising, more intense when you push it. And then there's the technology. This is where the Mustang pickup quietly steps into the future. The infotainment system is fast, intuitive, and deeply connected. It doesn't just respond, it anticipates. It adjusts settings, suggests routes, optimizes performance modes, and even adapts cabin comfort based on your habits. It feels less like a machine and more like a partner. But let's talk about what really matters: performance. Because this is where the Mustang badge has to prove itself. Under the hood, you're looking at a powerful petrol engine that delivers a deep, confident sound. Not overly loud, not artificial, just pure mechanical character. The power delivery is smooth, but always ready. You press the throttle, and it responds instantly, without hesitation. The drivetrain feels intelligent, distributing power in a way that keeps everything controlled, even when you push it. And here's something that surprises most people. Despite being a pickup, it doesn't feel heavy or sluggish in corners. The suspension has been tuned to balance comfort and performance, adapting in real time to road conditions. You can drive it daily without thinking twice. And then, when the road opens up, it transforms. This is where the contrast becomes clear. Traditional trucks focus on utility first, performance second. But this This flips the script. It gives you both without forcing you to compromise. Safety is another area where the Mustang pickup quietly stands out. It's equipped with advanced driver assistance systems that work seamlessly in the background. Adaptive cruise control, lane management, intelligent braking, all designed to keep you confident without taking away control. It's not intrusive, it's supportive. And when you think about everyday life, this is where the truck becomes even more interesting. You still get the practicality you expect. A functional cargo bed, spacious cabin, comfortable seating for long drives. It's built for real-world use. But now, that practicality comes with an emotional connection that most trucks simply don't offer. You're not just driving something useful. You're driving something that feels alive, and that changes everything. Because now, the question isn't whether a truck can be practical or exciting. The question is, why should you settle for one when you can have both? Emotionally, this vehicle sits in a completely different space. It doesn't try to compete directly with traditional trucks or performance cars. It creates its own identity somewhere in between. And that's what makes it so compelling. This isn't for someone who wants the ordinary. It's for someone who wants presence, capability, and personality, all in one package. Someone who values performance but refuses to give up practicality. Someone who understands that the future of vehicles isn't about categories, it's about experiences. As you watch it from different angles, see how it moves, how it reacts, how it feels, you start to realize something important. This doesn't feel like an experiment, it feels like a statement. A statement that says performance doesn't belong to just one type of vehicle anymore. A statement that says innovation isn't about replacing the past, it's about evolving it. And maybe that's what makes the 2026-27 Ford Mustang pickup truck so interesting. It doesn't forget where it came from, but it's clearly focused on where it's going. So now the real question is, would you choose something like this over a traditional truck or a performance car? Or does this feel like the perfect balance you've been waiting for? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts because vehicles like this are changing the conversation and you don't want to miss what's coming next. What if the 2026-27 Plymouth Barracuda isn't just a comeback, but a warning shot to the entire performance world? Because what you're about to see isn't nostalgia, it's evolution, and it might completely change how we look at modern muscle cars. You're watching premium automotive reviews, where we don't just look at cars, we decode what makes them special. And this Barracuda hides more than just aggressive styling. There are details here that quietly signal a new direction for performance, and once you notice them, you won't be able to unsee them. The first thing that hits you is the presence. It doesn't try to look futuristic in an artificial way. It feels grounded, powerful, almost intimidating. The front fascia carries that unmistakable muscle car attitude, but sharpened with modern precision. The round LED headlight elements glow with a deep, focused intensity, while the grille stretches wide, giving the car a planted, dominant stance. Then your eyes move to the hood, and this is where the personality starts to reveal itself. Functional vents, sculpted lines, and that central intake aren't just design choices. They're statements. This car breathes performance. It looks like it's ready to launch even when standing still. As the camera glides along the side, the proportions feel just right. Long hood, short rear deck. Wide body, classic muscle DNA, but refined. The flared fenders wrap tightly around those deep-dish performance wheels, giving it a stance that feels aggressive but controlled. Every angle reflects light in a way that emphasizes the car's muscular structure. And then you reach the rear, and this is where the Barracuda truly separates itself. That full-width lighting signature with multiple circular LED elements feels both retro and futuristic at the same time. It's familiar, but completely reimagined. The diffuser below, paired with quad exhaust outlets, reinforces the idea that this isn't just about looks. This is engineered performance. But here's something most people overlook at first glance. The aerodynamics are subtle, almost hidden in plain sight. The airflow management, the sharp edges, the underbody shaping, it's all designed to keep the car stable at high speeds without compromising its classic silhouette. That balance is incredibly difficult to achieve, and yet it feels effortless here. Now step inside, and the atmosphere shifts completely. The cabin doesn't feel like a typical muscle car interior. It feels elevated. Premium materials wrap around you, from soft-touch surfaces to carefully stitched accents. There's a sense of craftsmanship here that goes beyond expectations. The dashboard layout is clean and driver-focused, with a digital cluster that blends classic gauge inspiration with modern clarity. The center display sits perfectly within reach, responsive and intuitive without being distracting. And then there's the ambient lighting. It's subtle, but it changes the entire mood of the cabin. It traces the contours of the interior, highlighting the design without overwhelming it. At night, it transforms the space into something almost cinematic. But the real shift happens when you start interacting with the technology. This isn't just infotainment, it's an ecosystem. The system connects seamlessly with your devices, adapts to your preferences, and even learns your driving habits over time. There's an intelligent layer here that quietly enhances the experience without making you feel like you're driving a computer. Driver assistance features are integrated in a way that feels natural. They don't interrupt, they support. Whether it's maintaining distance on the highway or assisting in tight spaces, everything works in the background, giving you confidence without taking control away from you. And now, performance. Because this is where the Barracuda has to deliver on its legacy. Under the hood, you're looking at a powerful petrol engine that captures the essence of what muscle cars are meant to be. The sound is deep, mechanical, and authentic. It doesn't feel engineered for effect, it feels real. Acceleration is immediate. There's no hesitation, no delay. You press the pedal, and the car responds with a surge that feels controlled but intense. The power delivery is smooth, building in a way that keeps you engaged without overwhelming you. But what's surprising is how composed it feels. The suspension system adapts to the road, balancing comfort and performance seamlessly. You can cruise through the city without effort, and then, when the road opens up, the car tightens, sharpens, and becomes something entirely different. This is where the contrast becomes clear. Older muscle cars were raw, sometimes unpredictable. They demanded respect. This new Barracuda still carries that spirit, but it adds precision. It gives you confidence without removing the excitement. And that's a difficult balance to achieve. Safety features reinforce that confidence even further. Advanced braking systems, stability control, and intelligent assistance technologies work together to keep everything in check. It's not about limiting the experience, it's about enhancing it. Now think about everyday usability. This isn't just a weekend car. The seating is comfortable enough for long drives, the cabin is quiet when you need it to be, and the technology keeps you connected without distraction. It's designed to fit into your life, not disrupt it. And yet, every time you start it, it reminds you that it's something special. Emotionally, this car exists in a different space. It's not just competing with other performance cars, it's redefining what a modern muscle car should feel like. It respects its heritage, but it refuses to be limited by it. So who is this car really for? It's for someone who understands the history of muscle cars, but wants something more refined. Someone who values performance, but also appreciates design, technology, and everyday usability. Someone who doesn't just want speed, but wants an experience. And as you watch it from different angles, hear it move, see how it interacts with the road, you start to realize something. This isn't just a comeback, it's a transformation. The 2026-27 Plymouth Barracuda doesn't try to recreate the past. It takes the essence of what made it iconic and pushes it forward into something that feels relevant, powerful, and undeniably modern. And maybe that's why it feels so different, because it's not trying to impress everyone. It's designed to connect with those who truly understand what driving should feel like. So now the question is simple: does this feel like the return of a legend or the beginning of something even bigger? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because cars like this don't just arrive quietly. They change the conversation. What if Cadillac just revived one of the most legendary names in automotive history and turned it into something that feels years ahead of its time? The 2016 Cadillac V16 isn't just a comeback, it's a bold statement that luxury and performance are entering a completely new era. You're watching premium automotive reviews, where we don't just look at cars, we experience what they're becoming. And this 2026-27 Cadillac V16 hides more innovation than you'd expect at first glance. Stay with me, because some of the most impressive details are the ones you won't immediately notice. At first, it feels elegant, almost calm. But then the design starts to reveal its depth. The front end carries Cadillac's signature identity, but sharpened into something far more futuristic. The grille flows seamlessly into those vertical LED light signatures, creating a look that feels both aggressive and refined at the same time. It doesn't try too hard, it simply owns the road. As the camera glides along the side, you notice the proportions. Long, low, and incredibly smooth. The roofline gently slopes toward the rear, giving it that coupe-inspired silhouette while still maintaining the presence of a full-size luxury machine. Every surface reflects light with precision, almost like it was sculpted rather than built. And then the rear appears, and suddenly the personality changes. That full-width LED light bar stretches across the back, paired with vertical lighting elements that feel unmistakably Cadillac. It's modern, clean, and instantly recognizable. Below that, the quad exhaust outlets hint at something deeper, something powerful waiting beneath the surface. But here's the part most people miss. The aerodynamics are quietly integrated into the design. Subtle air channels, underbody shaping, carefully placed vents, all working together without disrupting the elegance. It's engineering hidden in plain sight. Now step inside, and everything shifts again. The cabin feels like stepping into a private, high-end lounge. Soft-touch materials, premium leather, and finely crafted surfaces surround you from every angle. There's a sense of calm here, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to show off. The dashboard is dominated by a sweeping digital display that feels seamlessly integrated into the architecture of the interior. It's not just a screen, it's part of the experience. Everything is intuitive, clean, and designed to keep your focus exactly where it should be. Ambient lighting flows throughout the cabin, adapting to your mood and environment. At night, it transforms the interior into something immersive, almost cinematic. But this is where things get interesting. This car doesn't just respond to you, it learns you. The AI-driven system studies your habits over time, adjusting seat position, climate settings, drive modes, even entertainment preferences automatically. It's subtle, but once you notice it, you realize the car is always one step ahead. And then we get to performance, the part that defines the name V16. Whether Cadillac delivers a modern electrified V16-inspired system or a hybrid powertrain with massive output, the philosophy remains the same: effortless power. Acceleration feels smooth, immediate, and controlled. Not aggressive, but unstoppable. The ride quality is just as impressive. Advanced suspension systems constantly adapt to the road, keeping everything balanced and composed. You glide over imperfections without losing connection to the road, and that's the difference. Older luxury cars focused on isolating you. The 2026-27 Cadillac V16 connects you, but only in the ways that matter. Safety systems operate quietly in the background, scanning everything around you. Intelligent driver assistance, semi-autonomous driving capabilities, predictive braking, all working together to create confidence without distraction. And when you think about daily usability, this car surprises you again. It's not just a showpiece. There's real space, real comfort, real practicality. Long drives feel effortless. City driving feels refined. It adapts to your lifestyle instead of forcing you to adapt to it. But emotionally, this is where it stands apart. This isn't a car trying to prove something. It's a car that already knows what it is. It's built for someone who values refinement over noise, intelligence over excess, presence over attention. And as the camera lingers on its lines, its lighting, its quiet authority, you begin to understand something. The 2026-27 Cadillac V16 isn't just another luxury car. It's a glimpse into the future of automotive design, where technology becomes invisible, power becomes effortless, and luxury becomes deeply personal. So now the real question is this the return of a legend, or the beginning of something even bigger? If you see what I'm seeing here, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because cars like this don't just arrive, they redefine expectations. Where we don't just talk about cars, we uncover what makes them truly special. And this 2026-27 Mustang GTD hides some serious engineering secrets that completely change how you look at American performance. Stay with me, because this isn't just about power, it's about purpose. At first glance, it feels aggressive. But the more you look, the more you realize this car isn't designed for the street first. It's designed for the track and then adapted for everything else. The front end sits incredibly low, almost slicing through the air. That wide grille isn't just for style, it's feeding air into a highly optimized cooling system. Every intake, every vent, every sharp edge has a function. Nothing here is random. The headlights are slimmer, sharper, more focused. They give the car a look that feels alert, almost like it's watching the road before you even touch the throttle, and then your eyes move across the body. This is where things get serious. The carbon fiber surfaces reflect light differently, giving the Mustang GTD a raw mechanical presence. The wide stance, the flared fenders, the deep side cuts, all of it is working to control airflow and increase downforce. You're not just looking at a car, you're looking at aerodynamics in motion. Then you reach the rear, and everything clicks. That massive diffuser, the quad exhaust setup, the aggressive stance, this is race car territory. The triple vertical taillights still carry Mustang DNA, but everything around them has evolved into something far more extreme. And here's the detail most people overlook: the airflow over the roof and into the rear channels. It's designed to stabilize the car at high speeds, keeping it planted when it matters most. Now step inside, and the experience shifts, but not in the way you expect. This isn't traditional luxury. This is performance-focused precision. The cabin feels tight, intentional, driver-centered. Carbon fiber elements surround you, reminding you that weight reduction is just as important as power. The seats hold you firmly, designed not for comfort alone, but for control. The digital display in front of you is clean and focused, giving you exactly what you need without distraction. And the central screen integrates performance data, track telemetry, and real-time vehicle feedback in a way that feels almost like a race engineer is sitting beside you. Ambient lighting is subtle, not overwhelming. This isn't about relaxation, it's about focus. But then the technology starts revealing itself. This Mustang GTD isn't just fast, it's intelligent. The onboard systems monitor grip, suspension behavior, braking force, and even driver inputs in real time. It adapts continuously, helping you push further without feeling out of control. It's like the car understands the limit and guides you right to it. And then we get to performance, the heart of this machine. This is where the Mustang GTD separates itself from everything that came before it. The power delivery is immediate, aggressive, but incredibly controlled. Whether it's a supercharged V8 pushing insane output or an advanced hybrid-assisted system, the goal is the same: maximum performance without compromise. Acceleration doesn't just feel fast, it feels precise. Every input translates instantly. Every corner feels sharper. Every straight feels shorter. And the suspension, this is where things get really interesting. Adaptive systems constantly adjust damping, ride height, and stiffness based on speed, road conditions, and driving mode. At one moment, it's stiff and track-focused. The next, it relaxes just enough to remain usable on real roads. And that's the balance. Old performance cars forced you to choose between comfort and capability. The 2026-27 Mustang GTD gives you both, but leans heavily toward performance when you demand it. Strong, consistent, confidence-inspiring. The kind of stopping power that makes high speeds feel manageable. Safety systems operate quietly in the background, supporting the driver without interfering. Advanced driver assistance, stability control, and predictive systems ensure that even at extreme performance levels, the car remains composed. And then you think about daily use. And surprisingly, it still works. Yes, it's aggressive. Yes, it's extreme. But it's still a Mustang at heart. It can handle real roads, real drives, real situations. It doesn't feel like a machine you can only enjoy occasionally. It feels like something you could live with if you understand it. But emotionally, this is where it hits differently. This car doesn't just represent speed. It represents evolution. It shows what happens when a legendary name refuses to stay in the past and instead pushes into the future with purpose. It's not trying to compete the traditional way. It's redefining what an American performance car can be. And as the camera lingers on its sharp lines, its carbon surfaces, its aggressive stance, you start to realize something. The 2026-27 Ford Mustang GTD isn't just another Mustang. It's a statement that performance has changed. That power is no longer enough. Precision matters. Intelligence matters. Control matters. So now the question is this still a Mustang, or is this something entirely new? If you felt that shift, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because cars like this don't just push boundaries, they redraw them. Disclaimer: this video features a curated list of top 5 upcoming 2026-27 cars based on currently available information, concept designs, and industry expectations. Specifications, performance figures, features, and final production models may vary upon official release. Some vehicles shown may be concept interpretations or speculative designs and not final production versions. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not represent official confirmation from manufacturers.